This is the age-old question of all time that most real estate professionals get at least once a week. Is now a good time to buy? I get bothered too, to be honest with you, when I scroll social media and everybody in a sales industry says now's the time to buy this product. We as consumers, I believe, are quite jaded because everything's always on sale. There's always a coupon and it's immediately available. So we tend to be jaded. However, we forget that real estate does not operate like everything else we consume. And that's why it's one of the best investments that has stood the test of time. Why does it operate differently? One, all real estate is individually unique. Even if you have condos in the same condo complex, there can be differences on view, corner unit, condition, and things like that. Second reason real estate operates differently is because there is an escrow period in real estate. In other words, you can write an offer and make a commitment, but then still take time to due diligence and close at a later date. These things sound simple, but they make buying real estate quite different. So what about buying right now? Is it a good time? Well, I can tell you a few things for a fact. Number one, the peak all-time pricing in Salt Lake County based on median and average price was May of 2022. However, in July of 2024, we got within 3% of that all-time high peak pricing. So pricing is about as high as it's ever been, but is really on par with where it was a little over 2 years ago. So in other words, we haven't really seen much appreciation in the last 2 years. In fact, it went down and then it came back up and it's right there. So from a pricing standpoint, you may say it's not a good time to buy. The second reason, interest rates. Many people have been holding their breath on either buying their first home or upgrading because of interest rates. And honestly, that was probably a pretty good idea. Interest rates were high, it was really expensive to buy. We all thought they'd go lower quicker than they did, and they didn't. So a lot of people who bought were stuck with pretty high payments. However, they didn't see the value of their real estate go down, at least in Salt Lake City. The last thing to think about is what's going on right now. Inventory has grown about 40% from where it was last year. The amount of homes under contract is about the same, and sales are down somewhere between 10 and 15% from where they were last year. And rates have finally started trickling down. In my opinion, that signals that between now and through this winter is the low season. We typically see seasonality in our market, so it will be slower, and that will be the last little window to get the best buy you can get and have some negotiation room before the market pops back up. Another reason for that is list to sell price ratio. In other words, what people are asking for their property versus what it sells for is at 97% right now based on all sales in August in Salt Lake County. So 97% means on average, people are able to negotiate about 3% off price and or get some concessions and or repairs on the property. Well, gosh, y'all, we weren't really seeing those things for about a decade, from 2012 to 2022. You had to pay full price, we were in multiple offers, you couldn't negotiate repairs, you couldn't ask for concessions. And we have been asking those things and successfully getting those things from sellers more often than not. So if you throw all that into the hopper and shake it up, here's my blunt, honest opinion. I actually do think now is the best window of negotiation to buy that we've seen in the last 10 to 12 years, and I believe that will only exist through this winter. It might even only exist until about Christmas time or the election, because a lot of people are holding their breath for that. We're already seeing rates go down. As we see that, every 1% that interest rates drop allows 5 million more people to qualify to get into the market. We'll educate you so you can make an educated decision when it comes to your real estate.